That's what they say about horror movies, you know? Where they're like, horror movies aren't real. I'll show you the Prince clip where he's like, you think horror movies aren't real, except that they are real, because it lives in, like, that trauma lives in your head now forever.
Yeah.
So, like, it
How was Midsummer?
It was... Little Children was better. Midsummer, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but it was just, like, very, like, A24... which is an A24, but, like, it was, like, interesting concept, but then, like, they didn't really say anything.
No.
Like, it was just, like, an interesting... It was, like, a really cool, like, artsy... Like, it was beautifully done, and it was interesting, like, R&D into, like, pagan rituals and, like, cult stuff, but, like, they didn't really opine anything. Do you know what I mean? And that sometimes frustrates me with movies.
Not a point thing.
Well, not being, like...
Sorry, I was just doing something.
It's not like... You've set up the premise that you're, like, you know, studying all of this cool stuff, right? Like, you're like, okay, pagan rituals, da-da-da, like, Midsummer, interesting. Very interesting. There's always, like, artwork on the walls and stuff. That's, you know, all these, like, really niche references, like, very cool, but it's very, like, student project-y. You know, sometimes when people feel like you can do all the R&D, awesome. You can, like, make a really well-referenced thing, subjectively, like, really beautiful and good, but, like, you don't really know what you want to say yet. So, like, it's a great movie to where, like, I would be like, I want the director of that to work on my thing that I want to say, because they're good at execution.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say.
But they're not good at, like, having an opinion. You know? So it was a really cool movie though. But, like, I was just, at the end of it I wasn't like, whoa. I was like, oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was like, cult's bad, I guess. Like, you know?
Sure. I think cult good.
Well, yeah, it did make me want to research, well, maybe I'm, like, lying, I don't know, it did make me want to research more into, like, pagan rituals, because it was, like, quite interesting. The way, like, the anthropology angle of, like, huh?
Sorry. Keep going.
It was, the anthropology angle was interesting, where they're talking about, like, well, is it alien, or is it wrong to have people jump off a cliff and die? Have you seen it?
They want to, yeah.
Yeah, if they want to, and, like, that's part of their belief system. Like, is that, like, who are you to say that's wrong?
Yes.
If it's, like, cyclic, then that's, like, what they're at. Which, like, agree. Oh, what else? I went to Kasama at the HEB.
Oh yeah.
That kind of actually pissed me off a little bit, but it was just like, she, like, I don't know, not pissed me off, but, like,
So.
she's just like fucking crazy.
Yeah, she is.
She's just crazy. It was very like, I'm like, I understand the patterns, I understand it, but I was like, what are we doing? Like, she, like, has had this thing for, like, 30 years, like, since the 90s, where she's like, I love pumpkin, and I like, and then the dots represent the infinite expanse of the universe. And I was like, you know?
Yeah, I must say, she's not like that impressive.
Like, she's saying that, like, you know, oh, you know, my universe is like the dots, but it's infinite, and, like, you know, referencing nature and being like nature's infinite and da-da-da. Like, cool, I guess, but also, I don't know, maybe I was just in a hater mood, which I wasn't yesterday. I was kind of like, oh, like, cool, but, like, and then she, like, had this, she went to, like, she moved to New York, she did the struggling artist thing, she did some cool, like, installation work, and then she, like, wrote this poem about how she wanted to die, and then went back to Japan. And I was like, like, you could, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you're like, and then it was like, she spent, like, 8 years living, well, she said, like, living in close proximity to a psychiatrist. And then managed to make it out of that, and then was like, now I like pumpkin, and I'm doing dots on pumpkin.
She's insane.
And I was like, what?
She is mentally unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's like the attraction of her, apparently. I don't quite understand that kind of installation. It does feel very like performance rich person installation.
That's what I was saying to Mum. I was like, if the coolest thing about your work is scale, that's fine. But that's an inherent, like, scale is inherently a rich person thing to be able to afford or operate in. Like, to operate in a scale that big on paintings that big. Like, even if you're not selling them to rich people, where the fuck do you store something that big? Like, even in a space like this, you could do like one and it'd be over, you know?
I don't think we can even do that.
Like, I'm like, it's just like such a, it's like a classic like modern art as money laundering is what it feels like. And like, it's cool for her, but she just happened to be chosen by the rich people as like, this is like, she's got enough research for us to just like put our money in this, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, it's not.
I guess she was one of the first of her gen to do it. That's
yeah,
all it is.
yeah.
She beat the.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, because she was like there at the Pollock, and I think she was the first woman too in like a Jackson Pollock world. But like, which is like dope. But all of them though, like all of them, I'm just like like if all we're doing is like big scale abstract thing, I'm just like, you know.